Hello students, I am N.K. Thukral from Edupedia World. Students, today I will talk on functions of management. So students, in the previous session, I had briefly told you about the levels of management, that means top level management, middle level management and operation level management. But let me tell you what are the functions of top level management: to integrate diverse elements and coordinate the activities of different departments, and to analyze the business environment and its implications for the survival of the firm, and to arrange resources of men, machines and materials. These are the functions of top level management. And what are the functions of middle level management? I mean to say, who are departmental heads. The functions, briefly I can explain you, or I can tell you that to interpret the policies framed by the top management, that is their function; to ensure that their department has the necessary personnel, to assign necessary duties and responsibilities to them, to motivate them to achieve desired objectives, and to cooperate with other departments for smooth functioning of the organization. These are the functions of middle level management. Now, what are the low level management? Low level management, I told you earlier that they consist of supervisors, foremen, superintendent, section officer, etc. The functions of operational level management are to oversee the efforts of the workforce, to interact with the actual workforce and pass on instructions of the middle management to the workers, and to ensure that quality of output is maintained, and to ensure safe and proper working environment to workers. So these are the functions of operation level management. So let's discuss today on the functions of management as a whole. As I can say that management is a dynamic process in which every manager has to perform various functions. The functions of management can be categorized broadly into 5 categories. Number 1 is planning, number 2 is organizing, number 3 is staffing, number 4 is directing, and number 5 is controlling. So we will discuss each one by one all these 5 type of categories. Let's take number 1 is planning. Now what is planning? How you can define planning? As you can see in the slide, planning is the function of determining in advance what to do, when to do, and how to do, and who's going to do it. This is what planning is. It involves setting goals in advance and developing a way of achieving them efficiently and effectively. And planning cannot prevent problems, but it can predict them and prepare contingency plans to deal with them if and when they occur. So this is what planning is. So students, in planning, goals are set in advance and way is developed how to achieve it. So we can say that it includes forecasting, formation of objectives, policies, programs, producer and budget. It is a function of determining the method or path of obtaining their objectives. It determines in advance what should be done, why should be done, when should be done, and where should be done, and how should be done. These are the characteristics in planning it involves. So this is done not only for organization as a whole, but also for every division, section and department. So planning is thinking before doing. So this is what we can conclude planning is. So let's go ahead students. Let's see what is the next function of management. Next function we will discuss here is organizing. Now let's see what is the definition of organizing. How you can define organizing. As you can see in the slide, a management function of assigning duties, grouping tasks, establishing authority and allocating resources required to carry out a specific plan. So what is involved in organizing? Number 1 is examine activities. Number 2 is assigning duties. Number 3 is grouping tasks. Number 4 is establishing authorities, and last is allocating resources. So these are the activities involved in organizing. Different kinds of business require different structures according to the nature of work. It decides who will do a particular task, where it will be done, and when it will be done. This is what is organizing is. So let's go ahead students. Next function of management is staffing. Now, what is the definition of staffing? As you can see in the slide, a function of finding the right person for the right position at the right time. I may tell you that staffing is a managerial function of hiring and developing the required employees to fill in various positions created by the organizing process. Now what is involved in staffing? Recruitment. Number 2 is selection. Number 3 is placement. And number 4 is training. So this is also known as the human resource function, and it involves activities such as recruitment, selection, placement and training of personnel. Next function of management is directing. Now what is the definition of directing? How you can say what is directing? As you can see in the slide, a process of supervising, motivating, leading and communicating with the subordinates to achieve organizational objectives. This is what directing is. We can also say that it includes decision making, supervision, guidance, etc. It reflects providing dynamic leadership. When the manager performs these functions, he issues orders and instructions to supervisors. It also implies the creation of a favorable work, environmental motivation, managing managers, managing workers and managing work environment. Now what are the activities involved in directing? As you can see in the slide, influencing the behavior of human resources. This function is basically concerned with influencing the behavior of human resources. A good manager directs through praise and criticism in such a way that it brings out the best of the employee. So this is what directing is. The next function of management is controlling. Now what is controlling? As you can see in the slide, controlling involves establishing standards of performance, measuring current performance, comparing it with established standards and taking corrective actions. Now let's see what is the main activity in case of controlling. In controlling, it is to ensure, the management needs to ensure that everything is done according to predetermined goal. So controlling is the management functions of monitoring organizational performance towards the attainment of organization goals. The task of controlling involves establishing standards of performance, measuring current performance, compare it with established standards and corrective actions. Its objective is to ensure whether everything is done according to the goal as set by the management. So this is what controlling is. So students, we have discussed all the 5 functions of management. Mainly it is required. However, beyond these functions of management, which we have categorized broadly into 5 categories, other functions are also performed by management, that is motivation, decision making and forecasting. So let's go ahead students, let's see level wise what are the level wise functions of management. As you can see in the slide, there are 3 type of level: top level, middle level and low level. And initially I had discussed the functions to be performed by top level, middle level and low level management. So level wise functions, as you can see in the slide, its top level functions are planning and organizing, and middle level function is staffing and directing, and low level management is managerial controlling. But I can say students that managers at every level have to perform all the 5 management functions. However, the relative importance of a function differs at every level. So this is all for today's class students, and the next session we will discuss other part of the management. So thank you, bye bye for the today's session.